Here's what's at stake. First title game for both of these teams. 10th program in history with the perfect season in Division III history. And also for Christopher Newport, 2 weeks ago, their men won the NCAA Division III championship. They're looking to be the first school in Division III history to ever win both the men's and women's basketball championships in the same season. We are underway here in Dallas. Glad to have you aboard here. Alex Sobario, Leah Secundo, our entire CBS crew. Transylvania kicking things off. Three-pointer missed by Lakin Ball, and it's out of play over to the captains.
Got to remember, these teams haven't played in about 12 days, right? Yep. They've been itching to get out on the court. A little bit different this year with 1, 2, and 3 playing here on this big stage. That meant the semifinals. We're on the 18th and 19th in Connecticut.
So now here an opportunity for the captains to get things going. And Hannah Kaloy with the miss there. And both these teams were trying to get up a lot of shots here yesterday. Not used to playing in a venue the size of the American Airlines Center where the Dallas Mavericks play their games. You get a turnaround in the lane and a score. Madison Kellyan gets things going, the Elite 90 award winner. And in the fast break, here come the captains in transition. Hannah Kaloy with the finish.
Easy baskets. We normally see that when the defense turning an offense off of those steals where they average 15 per game, but great job running the floor, getting things done before the defense can set and match up.
I have to say I'm I'm very impressed so far in the early going with how the Pioneers have handled some of that pressure in the early going. Offensive rebound here, the putback by Lakin Ball is missed. It goes out of play, and it's going back to Christopher Newport. And before we get into the meats and potatoes of this game here, Leah, how excited have both of these teams been just being around this environment and all these amazing women in this sport?
Well, and you talk about amazing women from so many different generations of the sport. The Hall of Famers, Women's Basketball Hall of Fame inductees were recognized last night at halftime. They were talking about Lisa Leslie, Carolyn Peck. And to be walking in the same area with legendary stars of all generations has been something that all of the teams have discussed. They've loved it, being a part of it. These easy buckets that the Pioneers are getting in transition, that's going to loom huge, right? Because and then everything packs on the inside, that's going to open up the outside game. But look out.
Malagar with the miss, out of play, and it'll stay with the captains.
Really impressed with the way both teams have run the floor here early, trying to get their offensive set, and you can see the cohesiveness and that sixth sense of knowing where your teammate's going to be, leaning in with that hand coming up, and the assist nicely done, lead and pass inside.
Gabby Sandiego worked it inside of Kaloy. She misses. Offensive rebound comes right back to her, and it's a fresh 20 here for the captains.
Gabby Sandiego was cute. We were getting ready to do our open on the floor, and she goes, "Hey, CBS, isn't this awesome?" Talk about being pumped up. She is a fire plug for them.
Certainly. Misses the bucket there. Now here come the Pioneers. This is Lakin Ball on the baseline here. Work it back up top to Kennedy Stacy. Stacy on the drive, little shoulder action, turnaround in the lane, misses, she goes down, offensive rebound, Kellyan. And it's right, she'll launch the three from the wing, and that's off the mark. And Hannah Orloff comes up with a rebound. Here comes Gabby Sandiego with a head of steam, takes it into the lane, it goes gonna go off of her leg, out of play. No, they're gonna say last touched by the Pioneers. Will stay with the captains.
Sandiego's not afraid. She doesn't care who's in the lane. She's going to run that lane and try to create an opportunity to get to the free throw line. It doesn't matter how big you are as a pillar.
And I'll tell you, it looked like it was still on her fingertips as the last one to touch it, but the captains get a break here. Sandra Fan, the grad student, looking for the skip to Sandiego over in the corner. The southpaw launches the three. Off the heel, no. The rebound to Deja Thornton. Remember that name. We'll tell you about why in a second. Madison Kellyan.
Doing a good job recovering there on a high pick and pop. And Deja just getting her positioning down low. Got altered a little bit. You know, you want to make a little bit of body contact there. And Orloff able to do so and adjusting Thornton's shot.
Deja Thornton is headed for the Peace Corps once she's done here at Transylvania. And in a few years, in 2036, she's going to be on the ballot for president. So she's
and we're not kidding.
And we're not kidding.
No, speaks 5 different languages, and she is totally serious. Good for her.
Christopher Newport looking for the 3. Missed that time. Back around to San Diego. She'll pull up from the elbow. Gets that one to go. We're all knotted up at 4. Transylvania at 32-0. Only had 1 loss last season. Same thing with Christopher Newport. So what a 2-year journey for both of these programs getting to this point here in Dallas.
Transylvania came into this weekend saying, we're going to do what we need to do against this defense. They were practicing 5 on 12 to get accustomed to breaking the press.
Here's a baseline jumper, and that's good. Camille Malagar. Some pressure here. Pioneers break it. Now they've got a 2-on-1. Bounce pass in transition. Little alter of the shot there. Sydney Wright kind of double pump trying to make that layup.
CNU's defense turning to offense. They are averaging 15 steals per game, and this is the reason why. Good hands, always active.
Pull up from the elbow, it's good. Hannah Orloff, the sophomore from Howell, New Jersey. Coach said she stepped up big time when Katie Rader went down. A couple of big injuries on this Christopher Newport team. 2 starters going out for this championship game as San Diego comes up with a steal and lays it up and in.
This is what we're talking about. So active on the press. Got to wait for some numbers to come back here, settle in the offense.
8-0 run here for the Captains. Another miss here from the Pioneers. The Captains can score in bunches, Leah. We're used to seeing that from them. They're used to having some huge margins of victory. Baseline jumper is good. Camille Malagar. And it's a 10-0 run here for Christopher Newport. Thornton on the baseline. Nice dish off at the end. Lakin Ball with the layup, and that breaks that 10-0 run. San Diego into the lane. Bounce pass. Gets tangled up there. Nearly a steal. Out of play. Last touch, Captains. That'll be Pioneers basketball on the other side.
How you manage your runs, that's the key. And this flurry of a defense by the Captains, forcing the turnover and the easy buckets for a big run here in the first quarter.
Well, there's been a lot of celebrating over in Newport News, Virginia. Why? Well, let's take you back to the 2023 Division III Men's Championship a couple of weeks ago. Time winding down on the clock. Christopher Newport forward Trey Barber with the length of the court laid it in, and Christopher Newport knocks off Mount Union, their first ever Division III men's basketball championship. And you can see the squad here. Men's and women's teams to win the national championship in the same year. Central Missouri out of Division II in 1984, and of course UConn did it a couple of times out of Division I. It's never happened in Division III.
No.
And Coach Bill Broderick was saying how cool it would be to do it at the Division III level with what the men did. They said, although they didn't really have an opportunity to watch their journey because their journey was kind of happening at the same time.
Always crossing over in an institution, when you think about it, there's only 5,000 undergraduates at the school. That marks the 15th national championship. 14 have been won by women's sports, a variety of women's sports, 4 different.
We're also looking to become the first public school to win the D3 championship here in women's basketball in the last 20 years. 3-pointer from the left wing is good. Hannah Kaloy from downtown. And we haven't talked about the 3-point shooting of these two teams, and they both can shoot it pretty well.
Very efficient from 3-point land. You have CNU averages about 7 made threes per game. There isn't a 3 they don't like. And Transylvania with the ball right now, they average about 8.5 made per game. And I like the way that these teams have settled in, Alex. I think right now, though, the captains are really dictating the flow of everything at both ends of the floor. They are rushing the Pioneers in their offensive sets and really not allowing them to settle in any way at all.
Lakin Ball missing the three on the other end for the captain. We got a miss there from Lauren Fortescue. And we got a jump ball here called on the baseline. Let's take a look at the profile here for Christopher Newport over in Newport News, Virginia, founded in 1960. As we just told you about the men's basketball team that won their first championship in program history. And what an athletic program they've got at Christopher Newport. A lot of success across the board with them. You just take a look there at head coach Bill Broderick. His captains look at inbound here. They do. Gabby San Diego missed 8 games with an injury, came back, and has really been a spark plug for them during this NCAA tournament run.
Wants to get into coaching, and you can certainly see that by the way that she commands so much from her teammates on the floor. Always directing, trying to get everybody in position, active defensively on the floor, anticipating. She's got her eyes on a swivel. Trying to think ahead of the play.
Hannah Kaloy with the personal foul on the over the back. And we got a jumper in the left corner from Kennedy Harris from downtown. Transylvania trying to weather the storm here. The captains had been on a 13-2 run for a bit. Now we get a steal and a takeaway, and Transylvania is the one that's coming up with the turnovers and moving in transition. Into the lane, we get some contact, score the basket and the foul. Madison Kellyan with the bucket there for the Pioneers.
CNU with their defense not extended on that time on the floor and then running to the basket, right? We talked about the different ways that Maddie Kellyan is able to go to the hoop, really three-dimensional player, and an opportunity here to cap things off on the three-point play.
It's a 4-point game. Make it a 3-point game now after the made free throw. And the Pioneers getting after it on defense. Asia Thornton getting her hands on it into the bench.
You know, that the timeout that was called, right? CNU's on big run. Timeout is called. You get into the huddle and it's like, okay, guys, let's settle in. First, the nerves are over, the butterflies are gone, and they've come out of that timeout looking totally different.
Sandra Fan, an excellent three-point shooter, misses again wildly here. Sandra Fan, the graduate student, shoots it at 38% from downtown. A fourth-team All-American, leads the team in points per game. Comes up empty on that three, though.
Go.
Oh, what a save here right in front of us here by Kennedy Stacy. Into Kellyan. Trying to float one in. That's deflected. Good defensive hands there from Hannah Orloff.
Kennedy Stacy could be one of those intangible factors, X factors in this game, as we have an injury at the opposite end of the floor.
Sandra Fan shake it up. We just talked about her, the graduate student playing in her final game here in Dallas. Comes off the bench limping, an athletic trainer. Mike Pomposh taking a look here. So she comes out quickly and they make a quick substitution. We'll keep an eye on her on the bench. Christopher Newport with possession here with 15 on the shot clock. Jumper from the left side, off the mark here. Hannah Kaloy comes up empty. Float one, down on the block. Transylvania can tie it with a three. Kellyan with the kick out. Sadie Worth. Now we're gonna whistle, step it on the sideline, out of play, and it goes back to the captains. Let's take a look back at what happened here with Sandra Fan here on the last possession.
Everybody trying to get into position there, and it appeared that foot got stepped onto her foot. She tried to move it out, kind of rolled her ankle just a little bit. They're going to retape it. She should be back out on the floor.
25 seconds to play here, first quarter. 10 on the shot clock here for the captains. Gabby Sandiego. Fortescue has it knocked out of her hands. Back to the Pioneers. They can play for the last shot of the quarter. Kellyan, left side. Kennedy Stacy launches the three off the heel. And we're going to whistle on a foul. And it's going to be against Deja Thornton.
Number 35 from Transylvania, Deja Thornton, first personal, first team.
That's her first. That's just the first team foul called against the Pioneers. So Deja will head to the bench. They don't want her to pick up a second foul here with just 5.2 to play. Maddie Kellyan will do the same, head to the bench. Sandiego with a head of steam, 2 seconds to go. 1 second, got to get it off. They're not going to get it off in time. Camille Malagar just could not get a shot off. And Christopher Newport has a 3-point lead, but you can certainly bet that Transylvania has got the momentum back on their side. The Division III National Championship here in Dallas. Christopher Newport, Transylvania, second quarter, next. 1 quarter in the books here in Dallas. The Division III Women's Championship, Christopher Newport on top by 3. Now tomorrow, 2 Eastern, the ladies of We Need to Talk have got you covered on all things tournament hoops as they gear you up for the men's and women's Division I championships. Catch it all on CBS and streaming live on Paramount+. Let's take a look at Transylvania's Madison Kellyan, the senior guard, the recipient of the Elite 90 Award. The Elite 90 presented to the student athlete with the highest cumulative grade point average from a team participating at the final site of each of the NCAA championships. So not only is she a good student, she's probably their best player as well. You see what she can do distributing the ball, leads the conference in assists, third on the conference in points per game. And between the combination of Madison Kellyan and Deja Thornton, they've been a dangerous team all season long.
Yeah, getting it done in the classroom and on the court. She's majoring in physics as Thornton puts one down, but she's minoring in computer science, math, and biology.
Right on cue, that 1-2 combination of Kellyan into Thornton for the bucket makes it a 1-point game here. Malagar looking to the corner. Fortescue pulls up, kind of a wild shot, ends up in the hands of Malagar. 9 on the shot clock though. Back to Sandiego. We'll try to work something quickly here. 4 on the shot clock. Working inside. Fortescue pulls up, misses off the heel. Offensive rebound. Orloff, they say a foul called against Transylvania. And it's going to be against Sydney Wright. So you take a look at the school profile here for Transylvania. In Lexington, Kentucky, alma mater of 2 vice presidents and 2 Supreme Court justices. The first university in the state of Kentucky. So you get Sandiego here in the corner, buries the triple. And Christopher Newport finally able to answer back.
And you know, she takes it kind of out of her hip pocket there. Being defended by a player who's got a good 4 or 5 inches on her. Just not intimidated at all. Talk about a gritty player.
Stacy on the block with the kick out. Off the mark there from Lakin Ball. Ball's loose and back into Transylvania. Ball inside, misses. Fight for it underneath. It's grabbed by the captains.
Nice box out.
Oh, and a steal, a takeaway here. Deja Thornton's got it. She draws the foul. She's got free throws coming up.
How frustrating is that? Hannah Kaloy with a good box out on Thornton. Got the positioning. And then Thornton with a nice job. Didn't get too anxious. Got her hands in there properly and now gets herself to the line. And I think, Alex, she might be just a little bit fired up to get to the line today. She's not your typical player having Powerade or sort of drink on the sideline.
She wants to give herself energy. She's not much of a water drinker on the sideline. She comes to the games with a large vanilla iced coffee that she keeps on the sideline with her. Now to the corner. Kellyan for 3, off the mark. And it's Sandra Fan back in the game after going out with the injury. There's a takeaway from the Pioneers and a layup there from Lakin Ball.
How about that? Taking a page right out of the captain's book.
Coach Julie Folk said that her team would have some wrinkles that Christopher Newport hadn't seen yet. That might just be one of them. And there's a takeaway here. Good pursuit there from Kennedy Stacy. And now Transylvania can take the lead if they can score in this possession.
They have a whole different air about them the Pioneers do right now, being a little bit more authoritative with the basketball, trying to set their own tone. They don't look rushed in their offensive sets as they did in the first quarter.
Trying to lob it inside, and it's deflected out of play.
Wow.
And they say last touch by the captain, so it's going to be, beg your pardon, last touch by Transylvania. It will be captain's ball.
And Giles, Giles did what she was supposed to do. A little aggressive there on the initial push on the entry pass in. May have gotten away with a foul, and CNU with the ball back here.
Here's the pressure on San Diego. Work to get it across, and they do into Sandra Fan. Fan working baseline, trying for the reverse. Kind of got caught up underneath, just kind of let go of it. Bounced off right underneath the basket. So back come the Pioneers on offense. Three-pointer in the corner. Got it! Rattling it home there. Kennedy Harris from downtown, and Transylvania has taken the lead. Timeout, Captains.
The Kennedys flying with 3 lands. Get back into this ball game and make it interesting.
It's been a 14-3 run for Transylvania, and they're now on top 20-18. You see both of these teams in the top 5 in the country in Division III in scoring margin. Look at Christopher Newport, plus 32.7 on the season. You see last year's champ Hope College in there for Transylvania there at 26.7. And the steals right now, we're used to talking about Christopher Newport in their pressure, but it's Transylvania's pressure that's got them back into this one.
Well, part of this 6-0 run, during that, 3 of those on turnovers that they were able to generate. And keep in mind that through this run through the NCAAs, both of these teams colliding today had a differential of plus 15 on the scoring margins. We expected it to be head-to-head. We expected the things to get tighter once that first quarter had finally settled in, and we're starting to see it come together here.
And you kind of see this here in Division III, Leah, when we were kind of doing our homework for this game. We wanted to ask the Captains and the Pioneers, you're so used to having these large scoring margins. When you're facing the tougher competition, where do you think your team kind of gets it to be able to deal with the adversity for the first time? And they all said, well, during the season, we'll have 1 or 2 games where we're facing an opponent. For Christopher Newport's case, they had that double overtime victory on the road at Washington and Lee back in January. That was really their toughest test in the regular season. They said that was the one that kind of helped them the most in this journey in the Division III championship tournament. As we're going to steal now from the Captains. Back the other way is Lauren Fortescue. Malagar back to San Diego, had some trouble with it, so didn't get a shot off. She's going to get called for the double dribble. So another turnover here for Christopher Newport. It's going back to Transylvania. Transylvania out of Lexington, Kentucky. We all know they love their basketball in Lexington, Kentucky, don't they?
They do, and actually they've had an opportunity to play, some of these players even play like their high school championships in a setting like Rupp Arena. So, this type of atmosphere you embrace. I think anytime you're an athlete, you embrace it. There's nothing like looking up in the stands and seeing your family and friends, but there's nothing like having the opportunity to step on the floor with so many fans screaming, whether they're for you or against you.
Three-pointer on the wing, off the mark there from Kennedy Harris. And it's grabbed by San Diego, looking like Curly Neal there, keeping the dribble while she's on the floor. From the free throw line, off the mark that time from Hannah Orloff.
Good trap here, just to kind of settle things and slow things down, right? They want to try to get into your heads, the Captains, and force you to either speed up or make a pass maybe you won't want to in a low percentage area in the corner like that with your big out there.
Oh, great hezzy dribble there from Kellyanne to get to the bucket. Misses the shot, though. It's a foul against the Captains. It's going to be against Hannah Orloff.
Just trying to tip that ball back to the outside and causing the foul there.
There's a foul in the corner on the three-point attempt by Kennedy Stacy. It's going to be against Gabby San Diego, the junior from Lorton, Virginia. Stacy, the HCAC Defensive Player of the Year. But trying to get it done on offense, she's going to try to get it done from the free throw line. 72% from the free throw line on the season. And this is on the first. Coming up in just a little bit, it's AT&T at the half. Brent Stover and the crew will give you an in-depth look at the 2 Division III participants. Plus, we preview the Division II championship game, highlights and stats, all that and more. It's all coming up on AT&T at the half. As Transylvania extends their lead here with Kennedy Stacy at the free throw line. She averages just under 2 threes made per game and misses from the foul line, though. I think she would have rather had the three-point opportunity, as that's poked from behind, out of play from San Diego. And they do say it's last touch by Transylvania, so they'll stay with the captains here with 23 on the shot clock. I have to say, I'm impressed with the Pioneers' game plan this afternoon.
Yeah, I think that for the Pioneers, it was just kind of getting through their own butterflies. And I like the way that they've really extended this defense. They're flying around. And Thornton, look at her with her length. She's not just playing in the paint. She's not afraid to go out on the perimeter and can get back in that paint area and cover it nicely. She's denying the ball coming inside right now and forcing CNU to take those outside off-balance shots.
Fortescue misses. It was in the hands of Orloff, but it was knocked out of her hands and taken away. Now pressure in the backcourt. And we're going to get a traveling violation called against Kennedy Stacy. And it's going to go back to the captain. So that's, again, where the pressure paying off for the captains. If you make a mistake, you get back on defense and try to get it right back.
Just unfortunate losing your footing there, but trying to get it back up. There's the travel.
It's 10 turnovers now for Christopher Newport. 6 on the other side for Transylvania. Entry pass into Orloff with the kick out. Fortescue in the corner for 3. Got it! Lauren Fortescue from downtown, playing in her 113th career game, ranks in the top 20 amongst active Division III players. Another grad student on this Christopher Newport team. 3-pointer on the wing, off the mark. Fortescue's got it. Here she comes the other way in transition. Malagar pulls up, misses.
What a box out.
Transylvania certainly not afraid to be physical on defense and trying to get those rebounds.
Sydney Wright cleaning out there.
Trying to get an entry pass into Thornton. It was overhead. She wasn't looking for it. Goes out of play. Back it goes to Christopher Newport.
Talk about cleaning out the paint and saying it's your territory. That is a great shot of that box out coming through by Wright.
We're all even up at 21. Transylvania at 32-0. Christopher Newport at 31-0. Captains facing the pressure. This is Haley Kellogg. Fortescue trying to work it inside and get it to Orloff. It's knocked out of her hands. And back come the Pioneers. Kellyan. Harris misses short. A lot of commotion down low, and it finally ends up in the hands of the captains. Here's Sandra Fan in transition. Pulls up, misses short. Fan looking for the rebound, couldn't get it. Emily Teal with the rebound.
Pace a little frantic here.
And Sandra Fan still without a point as we're nearing the 3-minute mark of the second quarter. That wasn't something that Coach Bill Broderick would have expected.
Keep in mind, she's the 6th all-time leading scorer in captain's history.
Deja Thornton on the drive. There's a rejection there from Orloff. It goes out of play. It'll go last touch by the Pioneers, so it'll be captain's ball here. As Camille Malagar will come in.
And keep in mind for Fan, too, she was out a good 3 or 4 minutes. They were retaping her ankle, but there's other things that Sandra can do if the ball is not dropping in the hole, right? You know, you come up with a steal, you make a couple of good defensive plays. She's still their go-to player.
One of the best three-point shooters in the country. We've seen her miss a couple of shots wildly. If she can find her form, the Captains are going to be dangerous in the second half. Miss off the back iron there, and the rebound, grab, taken away. Second effort off the mark. They say last touch there, getting on the floor for it there was Kennedy Stacy, but the ball was on the other side of the end line. So we stay with the Captains here.
Yeah, second chance opportunity so important for both teams today, and difficult on that outlet. Not allowing any opportunity to make the pass through was Giles on the play.
Well, they really don't give up, even if they don't get the offensive rebound and the opposing team gets, they make it difficult to come back on the offensive end of the floor. Now they're checking something over on the sideline here. All knotted up at 21 here. Now we'll get discussion here. Our officials are Amy Sanchez, Aaron Frias, and Kate Burrell. It'll be, and now they'll have some other delay. Looks like there's something that was on the floor, so they took that off the floor. Now we're ready to go. Tied at 21, 20 on the shot clock here for the Captains. Malagar. Sandra Fan. Back to Malagar. On the baseline, losing the handle on it there was Olivia Giles. Up ahead in transition, this is Kennedy Harris. The Pioneers will slow things down a bit. Stacy drives it in, right side of the lane. Just found a little sliver of room to get that shot up and puts it in. Transylvania back up by 2.
How about that by the third team all region? Nice, fast, quick step to blow by the defender.
Looking for the head fake and the backdoor cut, but it's deflected and taken away. Christopher Newport really having some trouble hanging onto the basketball in this game. Transylvania methodical. Now to the corner, three-point attempt by Lakin Ball, off the heel. Offensive rebound. Stacy's got it, pulls up from just inside the foul line, in and out. We approach the 1-minute mark here until halftime. Inside the circle. Miss on the shot there from Hannah Kaloy.
You know, the defense that Transylvania plays sometimes, it appears to be a little bit of a zone, but it also is almost like a matchup zone. And I think CNU is having difficulties right now trying to find that space in this matchup zone to get a decent shot off.
Malagar in transition, goes up. We get a whistle away from the basketball. It's going to be Captain's ball on the baseline here with 47 and 5/10 seconds remaining.
Fouls on number 32 for Transylvania, Lakin Ball. First personal, second.
Foul's going to be on number 32, Lakin Ball, as Hannah Orloff comes back in here for the Captains. It was away from the play.
And Hannah Orloff returns for the Captains.
Here's Fan. Inside, a Giles goes for the reverse, tried to go off the window, misses. And here come the Pioneers. Up by 2. Try to float a pass on the baseline here. Sydney Wright's got it. Kick it back out to Ball.
You know the entry passes are there. For Transylvania, they're just forcing, CNU is forcing those entry passes to be caught too deep under the hoop. Shot clock winding down.
Stacy with the pull-up with 3 on the shot clock, misses short. 10 seconds left in the period. Here comes Sandra Fan, still looking for her first bucket. Malagar with 4, pulls up, in and out. Trying to get the offensive rebound. Second effort off the mark, and there's the horn. Hannah Orloff just could not finish there, and Christopher Newport will go into the locker room trailing by 2 to this Transylvania Pioneers team, and the captain's chaos has been a little chaotic here in this first half, and it's been Transylvania making things happen on defense. We got a tight one here in Dallas as we crown a champion, the first of 3 champions to be crowned here in Dallas. After the break, it's Brent Stover and the crew in Houston for AT&T at the half. Back here in Dallas. 2 more quarters to play here before we crown a champion of Division III here on this American Airlines Center floor. So we take a look at why all 3 divisions are here. It's the 50th anniversary celebration of Title IX. And Leah, it's just been a wonderful weekend for all of the women's programs that have been here in Dallas this weekend.
We talked with so many different people throughout the last week, and it is about sports with Title IX, but it's also about education and a balanced education across the amendments. And what a celebration it has been this week. Yes, we are past the 50th anniversary due to COVID and some other things, but it has been so excellent to have the student athletes experience. But it's been a great experience for us as well, and the fans are really enjoying it. So kudos to everybody that has put this on at all 3 levels. The detail on different things that we've seen, Alex, from the team towels to the team jackets to the teams telling us how much they enjoyed having the rides to and from the arena from their hotels. So great detail.
Absolutely. Now, so this one here today, it's a little bit different than a game that we saw. Again, Alex Sabario, Leah Secundo, our entire CBS crew. And again, Transylvania kind of playing the type of game that we're used to seeing out of Christopher Newport with the extra pressure. And it really has not been the stars that have been coming through. It's been all role players for both sides.
Well, and they have. You're absolutely right. They've gotten into the passing lanes and forced turnovers, creating those turnovers. Right now, 13 turnovers for Christopher Newport on the game thus far. They've been exploiting the paint, and I think that's been the biggest key right now with the second chance opportunities. 14 points in the paint for the Pioneers, and just doing a good job. You start thinking about how to attack the paint, it's going to open up other opportunities for your teammates outside, and they've done that very well.
Yeah, and I think there's been an element to this game that in the early going, I think Transylvania could find the way they wanted to play. And I think Christopher Newport is still looking to play the game that they want to play. As far as game plan is concerned, probably advantage Transylvania right now. Yeah. Christopher Newport maybe has to make a little bit of tinker to their game plan coming up second half.
You make a super point there, and that was something that Julie Vokes had said to us during the week. One of our pillars is being adaptable. Her team has been really adaptable, and that's, you've got to, you can't stay with a scout and stick with it, right, all game long. You have to be adaptable, and the Pioneers have shown that through the first 2 quarters of play.
I think one of the things that's been interesting for this game, and really for the tournament run, is we talked about the point differential that these 2 teams have had all season long. We can look, both these teams are unbeaten, 32-0, 31-0. They're used to blowing teams out in the regular season. So when it comes to adversity, it's interesting to see teams that are used to dominating struggle a little bit against a team of their caliber.
How you're going to respond, right? And you hope that you've put your team in every type of situation to be able to be ready for these type of experiences, and we're going to find out here over the next 2 quarters.
Sandra Fan still looking for her shot. She's the leading scorer of the team, one of the best 3-point shooters in the country, but she can't seem to find it right now. Comes up empty on 2 attempts. She went down a little earlier with seemed to be a foot injury. She's back on the floor after getting her ankle or foot re-looked at there, as we get a miss on this end here from Transylvania. All right, Leah, as we talk about adjustments, first of all, let's get through this transition here as Malagar inside. Shot from the circle is good. That one, Hannah Kaloy with the bucket. She started the scoring off for Christopher Newport in the first half, gets it going in the second half where we're tied at 23. In terms of adjustments, what would you want to see from both?
Well, I think Christopher Newport has to take better care of the basketball. This is a team that only averages 15 turnovers a game. They already have 13 on the game thus far. It's very uncharacteristic of them. So credit the defense for the Pioneers. They're getting into the passing lanes. They're making things difficult. They're making them feel uncomfortable with the ball. I do feel as though, as a Pioneer score there, that CNU is doing a super job forcing those passes deep inside and forcing the adjustment as there's a foul on the floor.
After a Deja Thornton bucket on the other end, Madison Kellyan called for the personal fouls. You see a look here from Deja Thornton, the future president of the United States, or at least future candidate of the United States. We've got to see how the election goes.
That's right. Right. And we're totally serious. She was on our conference call with us this week. She came flat out and said, I want to be president. We're like, well, president of the United States. And as Alex mentioned at the top of the show, in case you joined us late, she is going in the Peace Corps. She speaks 5 different languages quite fluently. And she's on a mission. She's on a mission. You can be possibly seeing history here in these Division III finals.
Miss again there from Sandra Fan. Well, Transylvania used to having people make it in the political spectrum. A couple of vice presidents have come out of there. Sam Houston, he didn't graduate from Transylvania, but went there, as we're talking about political leaders in Texas. Father of Texas.
The father of Texas.
Three-pointer on the wing here. Kennedy Stacy from downtown. She's had a really nice game here in the championship.
You know, Kennedy Stacy is a player that you know, adds to this team with her passing. I had said in the second quarter, I really felt that in talking with Coach Folks yesterday that she could be an X factor for this squad. She starts opening up those three-point shots, which she can do. This could be a long afternoon and intangible factor.
Now, one of the things that we were thinking about coming into this game is Christopher Newport out with 2 of their best players. Katie Rader, she went down in the Sweet 16 against Wartburg. She's the team leader in the press, led the squad in steals with 64. And then Anaya Simmons, one of the most efficient players offensively in Division III, if not the most efficient. They don't have her either. She went out in the first round as we get a bucket underneath. And Transylvania starting to extend this lead a bit as they get offensive foul on this end. It's going to be against Sandra Fan, and Transylvania's fans are starting to get a little ruckus here in Dallas.
Well, you know you're going to have to weather through different storms in a game. Each team's going to go on their runs. But right now the captains haven't been able to figure out how to stifle the runs. This could help. Getting some struggling here in the backcourt. They've got to hurry.
And Gabby San Diego nearly fouled Deja Thornton there after they broke the pressure. Pioneers have done an admirable job dealing with the captain's chaos, full court pressure of Christopher Newport. Down low, nice cut to the basket. Deja Thornton is there to lay it up and in.
The big girls combining for the bucket.
The lead is 9. It's the largest lead of the game, a 9-0 run here for Transylvania. San Diego. Pull up here from Hannah Kaloy. Misses off the back iron, and the Pioneers with a rebound. And Christopher Newport just trying to find some sort of offense here. Lincoln ball down low into Thornton. Gets it in. Score the basket of the foul. And the Pioneers have pulled ahead by double digits.
Well, ball, the high-low once again, and I think they've recognized something, she and Thornton, in their timeouts, just discussing where we're going to cut to our seam to the bucket and having those eyes in the lead-in perfect to Thornton to be successful.
There's an offensive rebound after the miss. Thornton misses the second effort. Ball is loose underneath the basket. We're going to get a jump ball. It's going to be possession arrow here to CNU. And now there's a discussion about it here. If it's on a possession, the arrow's pointing the other way.
They're going to take a look at it. I love Kennedy Stacy and Santiago both going over at the end line, prepared to take that ball in.
Now a discussion with our officials here at center court here. Don't know if there was something that happened after the whistle. And we're going to get some information on it.
Look for a potential unobserved foul, and it's going to go to the media.
So they're looking for a potential unobserved foul.
Meaning the play off the ball there, if there was a push with the bigs. See if we can pick it up. Keep an eye on 23 in white with her back to you right now. As Thornton comes up. No, I don't see, I mean, from that angle.
So it's going to be well after the play here. You see Deja Thornton, 35 in black. She's going to come up a bit, and then watch here Hannah Kaloy, who's right behind her. And that's what I guess that's what they're looking at. That would really be the only thing if it was some sort of incident after the play.
Trying to get the teams back to the huddles right now as they continue to look at this, and I believe they've made a decision.
They're sending the teams back to their respective huddles here. There had to have been something obvious that they were looking at for them to go to the videotape, because we'll get another. So there were no foul on the play is what they're saying. They were looking at that play with Deja Thornton. It was a jump ball, which was the initial whistle, and the possession error will give it to the captains here. You know, we were talking about Deja Thornton, you know, continuing my homework on the future president of the United States here. You know, we talked about her 5 languages she speaks: English, Spanish. Spanish is her second best language. She speaks it better than I do. Arabic, Chinese, Russian. Come to find out, she also knows a bit of Korean, a bit of French, and a bit of Cherokee. So she was a little hesitant to say that she does have a little bit more slight fluency, at least in 3 more languages.
And keep in mind, this is a young lady, too, that we talked about. Maddie Killian's ability in the classroom as well as on the court, and Deja Thornton as well.
After official review, the rule on the court stands is held ball. Possession goes to the captains.
So it is captain's ball, down by 11 here. It's an 11-0 run here from Christopher Newport. I beg your pardon, from Transylvania, as Christopher Newport trails it here. It's without a doubt the largest deficit they've had this season. Trying to skip it over to Sandra Fan, end up in the hand of Deja Thornton, but Sandra able to take it out. They did not change the shot clock, still only 5 on the shot clock. Shot missed, rebound comes out. Thornton had it for a second, ends up in the hands of Madison Kelly.
And this is where you take a look at the clock. There's plenty of game left, right? And you're winning by a lot, but there's no need to rush things up the floor. Take a little bit of time, make sure that you're getting some good shots off. Nice defense there by Chloe.
Christopher Newport with just 1 field goal in the quarter. Let's take a look here at the block. Nice job defensively there from Hannah Kaloy.
You know, and Kaloy kind of runs her off the baseline, forcing a difficult shot away from the hoop.
Kellyan looking to inbound with 13 on the shot clock, trying to float it, but Deja kind of went the other direction of where the ball was going, still able to retreat to grab it. Then a 3-pointer on the wing, off the mark. Thornton with the offensive rebound and the putback. It's a 13-0 run for the Pioneers. And the captain's desperate for some offense. Work it inside. Tough shot. What a play. Hannah Kaloy slithered her way through the defense, drew some contact as well, and finally able to break the drought. Pioneers on offense, trying to keep the pace in their favor. Kellyan work her way inside, kind of gets trapped on the block, and another block shot there from Orloff. Baseline J off the mark, and Kaloy comes up with the rebound. Fortescue out to the corner. It's Malagar working baseline. Misses short. Try to float a pass inside. Ball comes up empty. Here come the captains. It's getting very physical right now. Gabby Sandiego works her way down low. Nice pass. What a feed there. Hannah Kaloy with the finish, and Gabby Sandiego making magic happen with that pass. Kellyan. Now it's Stacy. Gabby Sandiego gets on the floor, trying to keep it. It's up in the hands of the captains. Here they come in transition and a bucket. Camille Malagar with the finish.
If Sandiego doesn't go low on that, there's going to be a foul call, but she recognized it, went low, and was able to continue on with the play.
And finally, a good run here from Christopher Newport. Trying to float a pass inside, another takeaway. And the captains have some new life inside. Sandiego tried to go up with it, and that one blocked with both hands by Sydney Wright. Here come the Pioneers in transition. Once again, try to slow the pace back into their favor, calm things down. Stacy on the wing for three. No. Kellyan, offensive rebound. Fresh 20 for the Pioneers. Three-pointer in the corner, Wright misses. Trying to fight for that rebound, following her shot, goes out of play. Last touched. They say there's still a discussion about it, and they have not figured it out. No, we get a foul here underneath. It's been quite the run from the Pioneers, but they're getting after it here in this third quarter, trying to get back into this one. Christopher Newport trails by 7.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Ace, the helpful place.
Taking you back to 2022, the Sweet 16 loss. This was the last one for Christopher Newport going back to last season. This year, 31-0, but they trail by 7 here in the third quarter. This is 1 versus 2. And they've been the best all year. You look at some of the top programs around Division III, Trinity out of Texas, and Hope, who was last year's champion. You just take a look at that poll. It's been quite the Division III tournament this year.
It has been quite the Division III tournament, and a lot of this has to do with, players moving about and through the experiences of COVID and extra years. And of course, D3 is quite different. D2 and D3 quite different, and that's what makes it even more special, I think, for these two teams to be the last two standing on the final day.
Olivia Giles draws a foul. When you want to talk about different, let's talk about how different Christopher Newport's conference situation is. I was preparing my board, and I said they don't have any conference wins or losses. How does that happen? Well, in their coast-to-coast conference, it's more of a scheduling alliance, or less of a scheduling. They just play a conference tournament and a showcase. That's really it. And that's how they determine their champion, their automatic bid. So you've got a team like Christopher Newport that's literally in Virginia on the one side. And then you've got a team like Santa Cruz on the West Coast, and they're all in the same league competing for the same championship.
It is coast to coast. And talk about different, in D3, they're not taking charters. They're not taking, that's not happening. So they have figured out a way to make it work. For the conference. And
well, Division III certainly gives them a lot more leniency in the way they structure their championships and their conferences. You tend to see schools that are maybe more academically aligned or faith-based aligned in the way they structure their conferences. So in Christopher Newport's case, they're looking for maybe other public schools, like when you talk about Santa Cruz on the West Coast, that maybe have the budget that they can travel as much as they do. As we get a traveling violation, speaking of traveling.
And you talk about the academic piece. For Transylvania, they've got 5 former players that are currently doctors. I mean, and not just the title of a doctorate degree, like truly doctors that are here today supporting their team.
Transylvania, they were here sitting in a suite watching the women's Final Four yesterday. What an effort last night. Hannah Orloff finishes there.
What a game between South Carolina and Iowa. We understand that Christopher Newport actually stayed to the end of that great finish between those two teams.
Three-pointer on the wing, it's good. Madison Kellyan from downtown. That's her first made 3 of the game. She's now in double figures with 10. Sandra Fan still without a point. She's 0 for 7 from the field. Back to Gabby San Diego. 7-point game here in Dallas. San Diego works it over to the corner. Fan in the corner for 3. Misses short. 0 for 8. Very unlike her to struggle this much from the field.
Well, both teams doing a good job getting their second chance opportunities, just not able to capitalize. Great hustle there.
Just kind of saved it over her head. That was a desperation save on this end. 6 on the clock here as the third quarter winds down. Stacy takes it in, misses short, rebound, Fan, and that'll do it for the third quarter of play here in Dallas. Transylvania able to build a 13-point lead at one point in the third quarter, but Christopher Newport held them off. Transylvania just one of their last 7. It's been quite a game here in the Division III championship. Both teams undefeated. One team will be crowned champion. Fourth quarter coming your way next. Back in Dallas as we get ready to start the fourth quarter. 39-32, Transylvania on top of Christopher Newport. Fourth quarter coming your way. Deja Thornton, the future president of the United States, here for the Transylvania Pioneers. Making plays thanks to that iced coffee she takes in before the game.
Closing in on a double-double right now. One of 2 players in double figures with those 11 points and 9 rebounds as we revisit the Ace Hardware keys of the game.
Yep, let's revisit those keys of the game. Let's talk about the three-point shooting here, Transylvania. That's something that you wanted to see, Leah. Tell us about it.
Yeah, well, they haven't had to rely on it, right? They've been able to really penetrate the paint and score some easy buckets in the paint where they have 24 points in the paint, so they haven't had to rely on the 3. And I think they've done a really good job being patient since the first quarter, making the adjustments on the press. Just 12 turnovers on the game. For CNU, though, while they've had 14 points in the paint, they've had the offensive rebounds, Alex. They just haven't been able to put them back. And quite honestly, on offense, they do not look comfortable in trying to break the zone or matchup zone that they're being presented by the Pioneers.
Wild three-point shot on the left wing and trying to save it back out here to Sadie Worth, and it ends up nutmegging her right through her legs. And it's going to go back to the captains here. Start the fourth quarter. Christopher Newport's really top player, their grad student in Sandra Fan, averages nearly 15 a game, 0 points in the first 3 quarters, ends up turning it over on an entry pass into the post there.
You know, credit that a little bit. The Pioneers extending their defense on the perimeter. Fan is a big 3-point shooter. She likes this catch and shoot.
Speaking of catch and shoots, Kellyan for 3. She got it. She shoots it from 37% out there.
Yeah, and that was Caitlin Clark area.
Lead back into double figures. Sandra Fan launches. Needed to see that. Sandra Fan from downtown. Her first bucket of the game comes with the 8:53 mark of the fourth quarter.
I think you might have poked her there a little bit, woke her up.
Sandra Fan is harder worker.
Oh my goodness.
As you'll see as a student athlete. They get it down low into Deja Thornton. Speaking of hard workers, working inside, lost the ball out of bounds. It'll go back the other way to the captains as they try to chip away this Transylvania lead.
Well, you can't chip away and be exchanging buckets, right? You've got to have a defensive stop at one end or the other, but getting Fan in the motion, and this is where she's at her best, right? She gets out on the perimeter, she gets in her spot, and is good catch and shoot, but this is not good right now.
Deja Thornton coming out of the game and, you know, Coach Julie Folks had talked about what a unique player she is to coach. And sometimes it's a little challenging to coach a player like Deja Thornton, her outgoing personality, and she's kind of headstrong in the way she does things. And drinking coffee on the sideline, not necessarily the best thing for you.
No, it's not going to hydrate you. No, it's not going to hydrate you. They have that conversation.
Here's a steal on the other end, but Sydney Wright, the ball ended up behind her. Coming in transition, the trailer, Sadie Worth. One of the best assist to turnover ratios in the country, and Sadie Worth with the finish. And gets it back to 9, but then on the other end, Hannah Orloff able to get a bucket. And these two teams trading buckets like you were saying earlier here, Leah.
Getting back to that play by Wright, she's been a player that has stepped up when need be and got back into the role. That was a big bucket. She could have been called for a carry, recognized that she needed to gather that ball in, able to do so and make the pass.
Three-pointer on the wing is short. Offensive rebound to Kellyan. The Elite 90 award winner, best GPA of either of these teams competing in the championship. She'll line up for the triple here. That one just rims out. A couple of good looks from Kellyan here the last couple of minutes, and you get a jump ball. Possession arrow is going to send it right back to the captains.
Yeah. Since Q1, Pioneers have taken a page out of the book of the captains, and good ball control to gather that one in. Could have been called, easily been called a carry, as Thornton continues to be worked on the sidelines. Again, a little bit dehydrated.
Yeah, the coach, I think it said something that the cramping up has started to pick up in the last couple of games, different times. As we get an offensive possession here from Christopher Newport. Again, trying to trim this deficit down. Christopher Newport trailed by as many as 13 at 7, trying to get to the fan. Bad pass, turnover. Here's Kellyan, the co-player of the year in the HCAC. Well, she's not going to have any trouble finding a job after college, is she, with the resume she's put up?
Biology. Plans to go to into medical physics, which I understand is a lot of the student athletes at Transylvania, that's kind of the path that they're going, and not sure exactly what she wants to do yet.
Can I tell you something, Leah? I had to Google what medical physics was after she said that that's what she was applying for. 5 seconds on the shot clock here for the Pioneers. Throwing it up with 1 second. Miss there from Lakin Ball. And here come the captains in transition. Some pressure near half court here. Gabby Sandiego inside, little floater. What a spark plug that Gabby Sandiego is for the captains. Able to put it up and in. She's had quite the tournament. 32 points against Tufts in the quarterfinal. Was excellent from the free throw line. And he gets a bucket there to cut this one down to 5. Transylvania trying to keep the pace in their favor. Don't want to run with the captains. Shot in the corner is missed. Rebound into the hands of the captains. Here come Sandiego in transition. Kick it out, right side. Fortescue. Back up top. Three-pointer is short. And we get a whistle away from the basketball that's going to be against the Pioneers. And Sydney Wright cannot believe it. She is upset. And Madison Kellyan trying to calm her down.
Everybody's trying to get into proper position for that ball going up. And Wright feeling as though she was grabbed just a little bit too much.
She cannot believe it. So we're back to live action here with a fresh 20 here for the captains. They'll work it inside. Bucket is good. Olivia Giles.
Giles needed that for her confidence, Alex. She had some close shots to the rim in the first 2 quarters that she was unable to convert on, turning with authority inside.
Giles, her dad is the team photographer, finally able to get a shot of her baby girl, make a shot in the tournament here, in the tournament championship, I should say, as we get a miss here. Kennedy Stacy comes up empty. Here come the captains, trailing by 3.
Giles not in an easy major either.
No.
Biotechnology and management program.
San Diego. 9 on the shot clock here is Kaloy with the pull-up. She scores. We got a 1-point game here in Dallas. And the captains can feel it. An 8-0 run for Christopher Newport. Stacy outside. Three-pointer is good. Sydney Wright from downtown. Back up to 4. San Diego having some trouble. They got their hand on it. I believe we got a jump ball that's going to give the possession back to the Pioneers. And we're going to get a timeout on the floor here. It's going to go back to Transylvania. Tension so thick here in Dallas, you can cut it with a knife. 4-point game in the title game. Energy picking up here in Dallas. It's a 4-point game, 4:13 to play as we crown a Division III championship. Now it's time for our play of the game, brought to you by Ace. And it's been all about transition basketball in this one for the Transylvania Pioneers.
Well, taking control and making play and the finish is something that's breaking apart. And a good job by the Pioneers. Again, taking a piece out of what we typically see in the captain's playbook with those transition points and points off of turnovers today.
And you can see those are opponent turnovers there. Ooh. So Transylvania has turned Christopher Newport over 18 times, led to 19 points. That's Christopher Newport's game.
Absolutely. Absolutely. This is a team that forces 15 steals a game. 15.
Sandra Fan comes up empty on that 3-point attempt and goes out of play to Transylvania. But you have to give them a lot of credit in this fourth quarter. There's been a couple of times in this second half where they found themselves down by double digits, and they've been able to keep it from getting out of hand. And the pressure has certainly started to pick up. The Pioneers want to play a little slower than that of the captains. So we're now under 4 minutes to go until we crown a champion here in Dallas. The first of 3 champions that'll be crowned in these 48 hours as we get a steal here. Olivia Giles in transition to the rim, and she scores. Nearly went a little too strong off for the window, but she cuts the deficit down to 2. More transition points here for Christopher Newport. 14 points off of turnovers now for Christopher Newport. Kellyan, top of the key, left open for 3, off the back iron. Offensive rebound, into the hands of Sydney Wright. Goes up with it. Looked like there was some contact, no whistle. Here come the captains in transition. Fan with a beautiful feed. Too strong on the layup attempt there from Fortescue. And we're going to get a foul against the captains after the missed shot. And it's going to go back to the Pioneers. Foul's going to be against Gabby San Diego.
San Diego picking up the foul, but what a tremendous effort by both teams as far as going and attacking the hoop at both ends of the floor. And Giles here down the stretch has really been the key player with 2 big buckets. She's going to take a little bit of a breather.
It's 3 fouls now on San Diego. And Coach Bill Broderick has given our officials an earful, thinking that there should have been a foul on that layup attempt by Fortescue. 2-point game, Transylvania looking to extend. Work it down low. Deja Thornton back in the game after cramping earlier, and she draws a foul. She's got free throws coming up.
Neither team has really gotten at the line a lot today. This will be the 8th opportunity, and Thornton doing what she did early on in this game, taking advantage of the mismatch there against Fan.
Although, I'll be honest with you, there haven't been a lot of free throw opportunities for either team total. We missed on the free throw there. Coming up next, join our hoops experts in the studio for the latest tournament updates as they get you ready for the day's men's Final Four play on NCAA March Madness 360. It's right here on CBS Sports Network. Oh! Miss on the free throw, so a collision down low. Ball goes out of play. And not going to be a foul, just out of bounds. Julie Folks a little frustrated here. I think both coaches are kind of frustrated with the way this game has been called. Certainly can see it on their faces. Gabby San Diego 2 missed free throws, by the way, for Deja Thornton. She only shoots it at 51% from the free throw line. We'll see if that comes into play here as Christopher Newport can take the lead on this possession with a 3. Fortescue working baseline. Draws the foul, and she's got free throws. She got kind of banged on the head on the way down.
Yes. San Diego was being really patient there, Alex, as far as they were trying to distribute the ball up top, at the top of the key to Kaloy, and they were fronting her. Nothing was there. Moving the option to the baseline area of the basket.
Deja Thornton picks up the foul, her second. As Fortescue, a 69% free throw shooter, makes the first. Cuts it to 1. 2:16 to play here in Dallas. A champion will be crowned. Division II's championship will follow us, and Division I's will be tomorrow. We're tied at 47. Here comes that captain's chaos in the backcourt. CNU fans, there's the turnover. Back to the captains it goes. Too strong on the pass there from Sydney Wright. And she certainly wears her frustration on her face. She comes out of the game.
Good trap. Pioneers aren't afraid to skip the ball to the other side, but that is not the area you want to be skipping it on the floor.
Transylvania just one of their last 8 from the field. They haven't scored in the last 2.5 minutes as we get a shot from the elbow off the mark. Could have given CNU the lead. They have not led in a while. And a timeout taken here by Transylvania. And a game tied at 47 with 1:40 to go. Tension starting to pick up. A champion will be crowned. Stay with us. It's happened 13 times, and it's going to happen a 14th time. Undefeated national champions, there's the list. Last time it happened was back in 2019. Thomas More out of Kentucky as well. An undefeated national championship, but you can see it's happened quite a bit. You see the Thornton crew on the sideline there cheering on Deja. Tied at 47. 1:40 to go. Alex Sobarro, Leah Secundo, our entire CBS crew as we had a whistle underneath. And Madison Kellyan headed to the free throw line. Hannah Orloff commits the foul here, and free throws coming up here for the Pioneers.
How frustrating for the captains. They had 3 players on the ball. You get Kellyan really in a best place you want to be as far as trying to put up a shot, right? And the foul is called. And a sharpshooter here. We talked about Kellyan's abilities at the line. This is not the person you want to be following.
Yeah, shoots it at 79%. She was 4th in the conference in free throw percentage. So very likely be automatic, and it's a 2-point lead now for Transylvania. It's been a long time since Christopher Newport has led. It was back in the 7:05 mark of the second quarter. Kennedy Harris's 3 gave the Pioneers the lead, and they've led ever since. They can take the lead with a 3. Gabby San Diego, way up top. Fortescue to San Diego. Under 10 on the shot clock as we get closer to the 1-minute mark. San Diego finds a seam, gets to the rim, bounces around and drops in. We're tied at 49. 1 minute to go here in Dallas. Kellyan. Lakin ball, down low, Deja puts it in. Pioneers lead it. Some pressure. Up ahead to Fortescue. And a timeout taken by Christopher Newport. We'll step aside for 30. 2-point lead. Captain's ball.
You want to put the ball in the hands of your leader when things are on the line. Stifling defense, being pressured, and San Diego having she doesn't need a big seam to get to the basket. Just give me a little seam on that road. And 2 of 11, and an answer and a response at the opposite end. The bigs have been playing so well and responsive for the Pioneers when they have needed a bucket.
Right now, Transylvania up by 2. Christopher Newport with possession, 22 on the shot clock, 35 and 3/10 seconds remaining before we crown a champion. We talked about San Diego, she's got the ball now. San Diego around the screen. Kick it out, Sandra Fan. They collapse on her quickly and the double comes. Inside, Orloff had a chance if she had drop step. Here's San Diego to the rim. Too strong off of the window. Deja Thornton's got it. They got a foul, and there it is. And Transylvania able to get it to Kellyanne quickly, and she's the one that's going to the free throw line and not Deja Thornton.
Orloff had the basket when she kicked it out there, as you said, if she had turned inside, a wide open look to the basket, and it just rims out for San Diego, who had been so efficient. And a good job, calling timeout right away. They'll surely forward the ball in the front court. Actually, they may not forward the ball into the front court, right? You might as well take it the length and see what you can do. We'll see what they decide to do as Coach Julie Folk is going out to speak with the officials and going back into the huddle now to draw up something for her team.
We had a foul on Hannah Orloff there. That's her third, but that was just the 4th team foul for Christopher Newport. So the discussion here, obviously Transylvania up by 2. Christopher Newport's got to send them to the line. What are they talking about in the huddle there?
Well, you know, I think exactly where they want to take and bring the ball, and you've got a foul to give, right? And so force the hand and try to force the play. The thing is, if you take the ball into the backcourt, which they're going to do, you've got to be awfully careful to be able to check the basketball. You don't want something turned over and lead to an easy bucket at the opposite end. They're, in fact, going to take it the length of the floor. And now they're going to change it up. They wanted to see what CNU was going to come out with defensively.
And now frustrated Julie Folks nearly threw her clipboard down. Said about something. I don't know if she was trying to call a second timeout here. And so that they can get changing players, and that's exactly what they're doing. So it'll be substitution timeout here, and they're going to send Samantha Cornelison into the game. That's the first time she's seen the floor tonight.
So with that timeout changing things up, instead of taking it the length, they're taking it in the front court.
So now that changes things here.
Throw it into the backcourt. Throw it into the backcourt.
So you either decide to try to throw it into here. Oh, they get it into Kellyanne. And she gets tripped up and goes down hard. She's struggling to get up here. And now they're all laughing, so it seems like she's okay. But man, it was a hard thud onto the American Airlines center court.
I think everybody was expecting to go in the backcourt, and unfortunately just tangled up in her own feet.
And Gabby San Diego going for the ball. You see her reach towards, but she just went there heavily. And you could see the look on San Diego's face of kind of upset of herself. But that's the 5th team foul, by the way, now on Christopher Newport. And they should be shooting. So it is just 2 shots. And that's exactly, they figured that out. And Deja's going to check back in here for the Pioneers. But 2 shots for a pretty automatic free throw shooter. And Madison Kellyanne, again, the Elite 90 award winner. That goes to the best cumulative grade point average for a player that's reached the competition at the final site for each of the 90 men's and women's championships across NCAA's 3 divisions.
And no question after this, Alex, going to have a timeout by CNU. Try to get this ball in the front court here. Give themselves some extra time.
CNU's got 1 timeout remaining. Now another conversation at the table here. It's a 3-point lead for Transylvania. And Madison Kellyan's got one more free throw coming up here. And I think they were double checking their timeouts. One shot left for Madison Kellyan. And the lead is 4 seconds. Timeout, Christopher Newport will step aside for 30. Can Christopher Newport chip its way back, or will Transylvania be crowned champions? Join us in 30 seconds and find out.
Maddie Kellyan down the stretch. If she hasn't been able to find the bucket from the floor, she's put herself at the free throw line where she is 5 for 5 and challenging this captain squad from a variety of spots on the floor. She is the go-to player when things are on the line, and right now for the captains, they don't need a bucket, they need a quick bucket and a foul.
Absolutely. Gabby San Diego looking to get it in. They trail by 4, not finding it in. They finally do into Sandra Fan. Fan trying to go up with it, has it stripped and stolen away, and a foul committed. Great defensive effort there from Kennedy Stacy, getting her hands on it and turning the captains over with 9 seconds to play.
As you said, things were kind of breaking apart. That was almost a 5-second call, and Fan going right into it. Pumped up on the play as she heads to the free throw line.
Kennedy Stacy, 72% from the free throw line this season. She was the HCAC Defensive Player of the Year, and she may just cap off this game with the best defensive play of the game. Stacy connects. 6-point game. 9 seconds to go. Captains need a miracle. San Diego gets it ahead. Sandra Fan launches the 3 and banks it in with 2 seconds to go. Pioneers get it in with 1 second to go. 0.4 of a second. No one there defensively initially on Lakin ball. And they'll likely come over just to double check the clock here. But the pass to Sandra Fan, who struggled all game from the 3, just kind of throws up a prayer and banked it in. A 38% three-point shooter. They'll take a look at the clock. She launched it with just under 5 to play. So the clock would have stopped there with 2 seconds to play. And I'm sure, I don't know if they've checked at all to see if there should be more time after the foul was committed, as Gabby San Diego comes out of the game with 0.4 of a second. Christopher Newport has already used their final timeout. Transylvania with the free throws gets it to 4. And Lakin Ball can put the finishing touches on a national championship right here. The lead is 5, 0.4 of a second. Pioneers get it in. That'll do it. Transylvania is on top of Division III, the first ever title in program history. The Pioneers put the finishing touches on it, winning it 57-52 as Transylvania completes the undefeated season at 33-0. Transylvania, the champions of Division III in 2023. And while there's celebration for one team, disappointment for this Christopher Newport captain's team. Their last loss coming in the Sweet 16 of last year's NCAA tournament against Trinity University of Texas. Rattling off 31 consecutive victories until this afternoon here in Dallas. And the Pioneers of Transylvania. The celebration continues. They love their basketball in Lexington, Kentucky. And they're about to celebrate another one as Transylvania is going to take the trophy home.